Okay, South Park is taking no prisoners in its new season, and despite backlash from Trump administration officials, they are unfazed.
Years ago, I had to put my puppy down by shooting it in the face.
South Park just turned Kristie Noem's toughest moment into a viral spectacle that the internet can't stop replaying. In a surprise bonus clip, the South Dakota governor is reimagined as a Botox-obsessed Homeland Security boss bragging about shooting her own puppy while barking outrageous orders. Within hours, memes exploded, and her attempt to fight back only made the mockery louder. It's brutal, hilarious, and a public roasting she never saw coming. Did South Park just deliver the most savage political takedown of the year?
Have a seat, sir. What makes you want to work for immigration enforcement?
Well, you see, I got a nut.
All right, you're hired.
South Park didn't settle for a normal episode when it decided to roast South Dakota Governor Kristie Noem. After the regular show aired, the creators dropped a surprise bonus clip online, and that extra dose of satire hit harder than anything in the main broadcast. It spread across social media within hours, and for good reason. The clip turned a typical political parody into a full-blown viral takedown, showing just how fearless the show can be when it sets its sights on a public figure. In this bonus scene, Noem is reimagined as the glamorous but unhinged head of Homeland Security. The animated version of her walks on screen with a perfectly polished look and a syringe at the ready. "Your Botox, Miss N," a staffer announces, and she responds with an eager, "Oh yeah, fix me up, fix me up." It's pure South Park, ridiculous, sharp, and uncomfortably funny. This cartoon Noem hands out orders like a reality TV diva, commanding her agents to hunt down illegals with an over-the-top swagger that blends action movie bravado with late-night infomercial energy. The whole bit plays like a twisted recruiting ad for Homeland Security, where vanity and authority crash into each other for a perfect punchline. What makes the scene so memorable is how it captures the real-world criticism of Noem's tough persona and love for the spotlight. South Park magnifies every rumor and headline about her, from whispers of political ambition to her polished image, and spins it into comedy gold. It's a parody that feels outrageous but strangely believable, which is exactly why viewers couldn't stop sharing it. By the time the clip made its way across Twitter and TikTok, the internet had turned it into meme material, and Noem's name was trending for all the wrong reasons. As biting as the DHS parody is, the real sting comes when the show digs into the most controversial story from Noem's past, the puppy incident. Years ago, in her own memoir, Noem admitted to shooting her young dog, Cricket, after declaring it untrainable. It was a shocking confession that sparked outrage when first revealed, and South Park wastes no time dragging it back into the spotlight. The writers know this is the detail that can't be ignored, and they treat it with their trademark mix of dark humor and brutal honesty.
Head of Homeland Security.
Oh, she seems nice. Okay, very pretty.
A few years ago, I had to put my puppy down by shooting it in the face. Because sometimes doing what's important means...
In the clip, the animated Noem casually brags about the act as if it's a badge of honor. "A few years ago, I had to put my puppy down by shooting it in the face because sometimes doing what's important means doing what's hard," she declares, her voice steady and almost cheerful. The bluntness of the line lands like a punch. It's disturbing, absurd, and impossible to forget. Throughout the segment, she repeats variations of the story, each time more exaggerated, as if she's trying to impress her team with her cold efficiency. The writers amplify the shock for maximum effect, turning a grim real-life admission into a running gag that leaves the audience laughing and squirming at the same time. By weaving this scandal into their parody, South Park ensures that viewers remember not just the joke, but the uncomfortable truth behind it. For Noem, it's the ultimate nightmare, a deeply personal controversy reborn as viral comedy, reaching millions of people who might never have read her book. The combination of political satire and real-life scandal makes this one of the show's most ruthless takedowns, proving again that no politician is safe when South Park decides to strike.
All right, take this to the next station for your physical and orientation video.
Well, that's it?
The moment that bonus clip hit the internet, it caught fire faster than any regular episode. Fans clipped the Botox scene and the puppy line into short videos that flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok within hours. Memes popped up showing cartoon Kristie Noem holding a syringe in one hand and a puppy leash in the other, with captions that mocked her tough love style. Even people who don't usually watch South Park were suddenly quoting the lines and sharing GIFs. News outlets quickly picked up the story, which only amplified the frenzy. What started as a small extra scene became the center of an online storm, and Noem's name trended for days as the internet turned her political image into a punchline. This viral momentum wasn't an accident. South Park has mastered the art of making content that lives far beyond its airtime. The writers knew that dropping a separate clip packed with outrageous dialogue would feed social media perfectly. They designed it like a meme factory, with lines that are easy to share and visuals that beg to be remixed. By the next morning, the bonus clip had millions of views across platforms, and the more people laughed at it, the more the story of Noem's puppy scandal spread. For a politician trying to project strength and control, that kind of attention can feel like quicksand. The harder she tried to step out of it, the deeper she sank. Instead of letting the storm pass, Kristie Noem grabbed the microphone and made things worse. She issued a statement calling the clip lazy and petty, a response that only fueled the fire. Commentators quickly compared her reaction to that of Senator J.D. Vance, who was also roasted in the same episode, but laughed it off. While Vance came across as relaxed and self-aware, Noem appeared thin-skinned and defensive, which is exactly what the show's creators probably hoped would happen. Her pushback gave the clip another surge of attention and made the jokes feel even sharper. This is the classic trap of political satire. South Park has spent decades proving that the quickest way to make a joke bigger is to act offended. Noem's angry response turned a single cartoon roast into a national conversation about her character and past decisions. Instead of controlling the narrative, she amplified it, turning a late-night comedy bit into a full-scale PR disaster. For public figures, the lesson is clear. When a show like South Park takes aim, fighting back rarely works. Humor thrives on resistance, and in this case, every word of her complaint became another reason for people to click, share, and laugh.
Oh, God! As the face of Homeland Security, I'll be leading the way.
What makes this takedown sting is South Park's fearless style. The show has spent more than 2 decades roasting everyone from presidents to pop stars, and it never picks sides. By exaggerating Kristie Noem's public image and mixing it with her real-life controversies, the writers created a character who feels both ridiculous and strangely recognizable. Viewers laughed at the Botox gags and the over-the-top Homeland Security orders, but the humor worked because it carried a grain of truth. Noem's tough persona, her carefully polished look, and her own memoir confession gave the parody plenty of fuel. South Park's magic lies in how it blends absurdity with uncomfortable reality. The bonus clip wasn't just a random insult. It was a sharp reminder of how a politician's past never stays buried. The show tapped into the public memory of the puppy story and used it as a symbol of cold decision-making. By presenting it with deadpan delivery and outrageous repetition, the writers turned an old controversy into a fresh headline. That's why people couldn't stop sharing it. The jokes were funny, but the message hit harder. If you build your brand on toughness, you can't be surprised when satire tests how tough you really are.
Over again throughout the episode.
All right, got him!
It's a reference to this line from her book where she writes about killing her untrainable dog, Cricket. Just weeks ago, Paramount was accused of...
Beneath the chaos and memes, the episode sends a clear warning about politics and image control. Public figures often talk about resilience and the ability to laugh at themselves, but many stumble when the spotlight turns mocking. Kristie Noem's reaction showed how quickly a carefully managed persona can unravel when faced with relentless humor. By calling the clip lazy and petty, she didn't just defend herself, She highlighted the very insecurities South Park was teasing. The bigger takeaway is that satire thrives on real cracks in a public image. South Park's writers didn't invent the puppy story or her tough as nails reputation. They simply held up a mirror and exaggerated what was already there. In doing so, they reminded viewers that political power and public approval are fragile, especially when someone tries to control the narrative too tightly. The more Noem fought the joke, the more the world laughed, proving again that in modern politics, knowing when to stay quiet can be as important as any speech or policy.